This is John Felt, and this is the Merschman Seeds Ag Weather Outlook, May 4th, 2018. Running a little bit early on the briefing this weekend. I have some conflicts tomorrow, so I thought I'd get it out a little bit early. But as you know, it was a very busy week for severe weather over the typical tornado belt states of Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, western Missouri. We had over 40 tornado reports over these areas and quite a bit of winds and hail. Now, precipitation, though, as I mentioned in last week's briefing about Iowa, look at Iowa. Almost the entire state received about an inch of rain, and we had quite a few pockets of over 3 inches of rain, and that's indicated in yellow, and even some isolated spots above that, 4 inches. So a widespread soaking rain over Iowa, especially over Wisconsin, and parts of surrounding states a bit more scattered. Now, in some areas, for example, Kansas, that rain might be beneficial. Other areas were resulting in some soggy fields. And actually, we have a flood wave moving down the Mississippi. Many tributaries are above flood stage, and that's working its way down along the Iowa border and then down into Missouri. So we've changed that pattern now from the severe weather pattern, but I do think we're in more of a showery type pattern as we're going through the next week with several pulses of energy, several frontal passages, each one with some drier air behind it, but each one also bringing us a chance of some showers. So the temperatures over the last week, well above normal, and that allowed the atmosphere to increase the dew point or the moisture in the lower atmosphere. That gave us our chance of severe storms and also the heavy rain. Another consequence are wet soils in areas. This is a model simulation. I don't think it's really picking up Iowa that good. This is actually through the 3rd, so we have to add another day in here. But I really do think now we have some wet biases or wet anomalies over parts of Minnesota, southeast South Dakota, smaller parts of Nebraska, larger parts of Iowa, large parts of Wisconsin, northern Illinois, maybe even northern Indiana and Michigan. So in some areas, I think in those areas in particular, I think we could probably go for a couple weeks or a week at least with some below normal precipitation. Now, unfortunately, the western parts, I know it's not an ag area, but western parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas remain quite dry, did not receive that needed rain. And you can see the thunderstorms were quite scattered in Kansas, so even though there was some severe weather and pockets of very heavy rain, there were still many areas that remained dry. So this week is going to be somewhat more variability, not with severe weather, but it looks like it's going to be with temperature swings. We're going to have this dip in the jet stream here, and within that dip in the jet stream, we're going to have the little impulses rotating through. Each one will give us a temperature swing. It'll warm up ahead of that, cool down behind it. Temperature is going to average out near normal over the central and eastern corn belt, above normal in the upper Midwest, and look at the western U.S., how much above normal. Now we're going to generally have along this front a number of areas of low pressure. One will occur late this weekend, maybe another one towards the middle part of the week. The net result's going to be a more showery pattern. See how uniform this precipitation is? Maybe each one gives us a 1/4 inch of rain, and it's going to add up maybe to a 1/2 inch to an inch, and in some areas a little bit more. But notice Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, southeast South Dakota, so areas that are wet could receive another inch of rain. So it's really going to keep those fields fairly wet. I wanted to sort of zero in and show you, this is an ensemble of models. There are 20 different runs, so run 1 through 20. And then this is the average down here at the bottom. So this gives me some idea of variability of rain. But this is showing you here, the first batch gives about a 1/2 inch, 7/10. Another one here brings us up to 1.4, another 7/10. Another one up to about 2 inches. So you can see in this spacing here, we're getting some showers with each one of these. Not an excessive rain, but it's going to keep things on the damp side. moist side, and fields that are wet are probably not going to dry out all that much. Now, I don't think it's going to be a soaking of rain we saw last week, anything like that, but still, you can see the fluctuation in temperature as we go through here. So here's front number 1. Temperatures dip down later this weekend. This is for Des Moines. They warm up again. Here's front 2. They come back down. Here's 3. So we're going to have this variability here. Now note that I know that I'm really trying to watch these cool periods, so you don't plant and then get a real cool period and wet period. We're going to have the wet weather, but I wouldn't call this necessarily behind each one a real significant cool down. Look, you're going about 3 degrees below normal. You're going up to about 10 degrees above normal, 3 degrees, and that's why it's averaging out near or even a little bit above normal. So variability in temperature with swings. Probably on the days that it's going to warm up will be warmer than the days that will be cooler. In other words, maybe in the 5 to 10 degree above normal on those days that are warm, and only about 5 degrees below normal on days that are cool. Now let's look at a little bit further, May 9th through 14th. This looks to me like a fairly quiet pattern, west to east. Jet stream's a little bit above normal, or a little bit further north than normal. How do I know that? Well, this brown shading. Temperatures, not a whole lot above normal, but above normal. So it's possible as we get towards week 2, we might get in a little bit more favorable pattern. Week 3, well, this is looking to me, not week 3. This is May 14th through 19th, 11 to 14 day range. This is that southwest flow again. If this works out, could be similar to what we had this past week, where we have pockets of energy pushing out of here, warm temperatures ahead of it, and chance of some thunderstorms. So in the immediate week, showery every maybe 2 or 3 days, chance of those showers. Then maybe some quiet time for a while, and then maybe get back into more thunderstorm activity. So here's week 1. Because we do get precipitation, but it's not all that heavy, it's not showing much green. And week 2, it's not picking up on it right now. Weeks 3 and 4, well, if this model is correct, it looks like above normal temperatures and equal chances of below or above normal precipitation, but trending a little bit on the dry side. So overall, even though I do see some swings in temperatures, I don't see any prolonged cold. Remember, I said that pattern was broken. I don't see that right now. I think we'll have some cool nights. We're still in the first part of spring. So I think that's pretty much the forecast as we go forward. If you have any questions, you can always email me, John, John, at bluewateroutlook.com. Hope that helps you in your planning. I'll be following up on it throughout the week. Look at these showers and give you some more fine-tuning of the rainfall opportunities. Have a great week.